week's social media switch off and collective member of the week. So this is me, Trina Kavanagh-Thomas. I'm Mind and Body Messenger, and Charlotte Fitzgerald. And we're here today. We're going to talk about pelvic floor and have a little bit of body talk as well. We're going to talk about a few things. We always end up talking about life and kids and stuff like that. So yeah, it's great to have Charlotte here. If you've got any questions for her, then please do ask. Don't forget to click the link up above so we can see your name in the comments. We know who's here and we know who's talking. And I'll put it on the screen as well, then everyone can see. And this will be going out on the social media switch off next Friday. So you'll get to see it again next Friday. If any of these are pre-recorded in any way, then they'll just go straight onto the social media switch off. But today you get to watch it live in its entirety. Yay! So welcome, Charlotte. Charlotte is an amazing pelvic floor coach. Adore your pelvic floor. She's absolutely fantastic at Pilates. She knows her stuff and she walks her talk. So welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be back and talking all things Pilates and pelvic floor health, because at the end of the day, it's something that's so important. So obviously pelvic floor health is really important. And then also I find Pilates is quite important because it complements anything that you're already kind of doing. Or if you're in that kind of rehabilitation stage of any injuries or back pain or anything, then it's fabulous for that as well. It kind of helps balance the body out a little bit, and so you can kind of be a little bit more aware of centering yourself. And that's something that is done for me massively, because my posture used to be horrendous and so did my breathing. So for me, it's done masses for me. So it's nice to kind of have that ability to share in it and obviously enjoy what I do, because my background was in retail before, and although I kind of liked it, I didn't love it. Do you know what I mean? I think I tried to leave numerous times, and then they kept saying, yeah, we'll pay you more, and I'm like, okay. And then the years just ticked away. So yeah, the background was in retail.
But the thing is, thinking back to those times, they would have given you something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They would have given you something to take away. What did you get from retail that you've taken into this?
Oh, to be honest, well, because for me it's actually quite weird, because so for me it was probably belief and knowing that I could kind of move forwards, because I actually started, especially like I worked for Money Shop. In my Money Shop career, I started as a cashier, and then I worked my way up to an assistant manager and then to a store manager. So then I was training like teams and stuff like that. And kind of just smashing targets, stuff like. Funnily enough, a lot of the stuff I've learned I don't always utilize, and then stuff pops in my head and you're like, but you used to do that before, why are you not doing it anymore? So then that kind of the self-talk, you're like, you have done it before, and you've smashed targets, and you've done this, and you're really organized, and you had your to-do list every single day, and you tick them off and do all the smallest things that. So yeah, I kind of probably need to implement a little bit more of that of what I used to do. When you're kind of in that structured environment, and you do have people to manage, and you do have that certain amount of time, and you've got someone above your head saying you need to do that, then you're more likely to do that. But I think when you're your own boss, you've not got someone tapping you on the shoulder saying, come on, you need to do that, and you need to do that by, do you know what I mean? So I try and set myself some realistic targets to say, right, you need to do that. And if I don't do it on that day, it goes into the diary for the next day. So I make sure I do it. But if anyone does ever say to me, oh yeah, you could do it in your own time, I'm like, don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that, because I'm over it. I'm telling you, I'm so rough. The self-sabotage does come into stuff like that. And I've noticed that the last few days, the self-sabotage has started to slowly kind of creep back in again. But obviously I've noticed it. So that's, the first step to kind of dealing with it. And the emotional eating has kind of creeped back in a little bit as well. But time of the month, so one of those things, it happens. So I think sometimes we have to be a little bit kinder with ourselves when it's kind of like that. So yeah, I learned a lot. I learned about kind of, like I said, being more organized, having those lists, trying to do stuff in a little bit more of a timely manner. and looking after a team as well. So not just myself. So yeah, I probably did learn quite a lot.
But that's so brilliant. And you know what? You actually mentioned periods. Hold on a second, because I've got to show these and give them a shout out because they're awesome. You might like these. Honestly, these are like a godsend to me. Da, 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 da. Oh my
Is that
god!
fruit and nut? I love fruit and nut. That's such an amazing combination. Whoever thought to put those together? Seriously, I love them.
Honestly, these I bought them last night. I don't know, when you mentioned about your period and everything, and like I don't know, we all love chocolate, right? When our
Yeah.
period comes, right? When our period, mine is like close to due too, and I was just thinking, chocolate and fruit and nut.
Yeah.
Oh my god! If no one has ever bought these yet, you need to buy these because these are
They
like
look good. They look good.
honestly, like I was like, I looked at the back and I was thinking they've got to have like some sugar in them or something. No sugar, all naturally occurring sugars in them, and they taste just like a chocolate bar.
Yeah.
Boom! I've just thrown it across the kitchen.
With the chocolate bar.
My dog's gone.
We have those moments of excitement where we just scare the environment around us.
Exactly. So you've been sharing like some really great posts during this week, and it's absolutely been fantastic. You even shared an exercise in the group. So if you've not seen this exercise, you need to go and watch it. Right, you've got to go and watch it, because the thing is, at the end of the day, it's going to help you tune into your body just that little bit more. And the thing is, you know, when we do these exercises, these are like foundational exercises. So if you think about the foundations of your life, the foundations of your business, we also need foundations in our own body too.
Yeah.
Because it's going to help us. Even you know this, Charlotte, by doing the exercises that you do, how much does it help your business?
Oh, massively. Because I think, I think that, yeah, it helps massively because I'm a lot more kind of aware of myself, even though, again, I'm still working from home. So I spend a lot of time on my sofa, which I'm just like, yeah. But then I realize and I have to straighten. So it's having that awareness. So you know when you kind of just overdone something a little bit, and you can kind of rebalance it and kind of tweak it. And I think that's something that's definitely made a massive difference for me. And like I said, the breathing and the posture as well. I don't sink in my lower back anymore like I used to. I'm not pushing my tummy out and having people saying to me, "Oh, when are you due?" You're like, "What?" I ate too many nachos, but no. So that's what used to happen to me in my early 20s. Nachos was my favorite thing to eat. And obviously I didn't have any children. So I was feeding myself, and it was just quick and whatever you could throw together, do you know what I mean? So I used to absolutely love nachos and things like that. So yeah.
It sounds like you love to cook as well.
Sorry?
You love to, it sounds like you
love to cook. Yes, I do. The kids make it quite stressful for me. Because they always want me to do something at the same time as when I'm cooking. And for me, cooking can be quite therapeutic. So I just want to put my music on, dance around the kitchen, you know, just prepare my meals. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of that lights me up. But the kids don't seem to get that. Okay, they just always want to burst my bubble of cooking. But yeah, no, I love to prepare fresh stuff. Even yesterday I cooked.
Well done, Charlotte. We just cut out for a split second. We did. So go back to what you were saying before. It went completely black screen.
Oh no. So yeah, so I like to prepare my own meals, and kind of for me it's all about just having that fresh food, putting some music on, dance around the kitchen. Yesterday I prepared a curry. The day before, obviously I bought the duck legs, but I did duck pancakes, my own homemade egg fried rice. So yeah, I love to prepare food. I love Mexican food, Chinese food, Indian food, all the food that you can get. I would. The thing is, I would eat all day if I could get away with it. I'm trying to kind of just I've started to notice a pattern where sometimes I'm just eating. Regardless, even if it's not a bad thing I'm eating, I'm just eating. So I'm not always listening to my body and waiting until I'm hungry. But then other times where I am kind of snacking in between meals, I then get really hungry. So I'm trying to tune in a little bit more, because I know a few people do fasting and different things, and it's just more, obviously I'm not someone that's going to just do long periods of fasting, because that just doesn't work for me. But it's just, you know, having those little bits throughout the day where I don't have to fill every gap with food.
Exactly. You know what? I was going to do a post on this as well about fasting, and the fact that, you know, a lot of the time fasting is seen as like a dietary thing, but also fasting from different perspectives is an emotional thing.
Yeah.
And to work through emotions. So I'm not sure about you. I know that I definitely noticed, and I think I've said this to you as I was studying, lots and lots of plates of food were next to me. I would like kind of get everything together before I'd even attempt to study, like just loads of stuff. And then I'm like kind of like, It wasn't until like I put it down for me that the emotion of not wanting to fail the degree came up. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fail this. I'm so sad. And I didn't realize that in my case, I was using the food was weighting everything down, if that makes sense. So it's almost like a conflict.
Going in with a clear head, you're eating and you're distracting the body, isn't it? From what
Exactly. And my body was what was being distracted for me in that time. I mean, this doesn't work. This is not for everyone, but for me personally, it was distracting my fear. So when I went to try and go do the degree, what I was finding is that I was eating, and it wasn't until I pushed the food away that the emotion then came up. Because I wasn't giving it the food to keep it down. And I kind of realized then, and sometimes I don't like advertise fasting or anything like that. I just naturally kind of like go, okay, well, I'm not really hungry at this moment in time, and just go from there. But you're so right. It's that awareness, isn't it? It's the awareness.
I'm a lot more aware of it, that I'm not probably as hungry as I previously thought I was, if that makes sense. I'd have my breakfast and I'd have like granola with fruit and yogurt, and then I'd potentially come home and eat something before I would teach, then I'd eat something after I teach, then I'd have lunch. And you're just like, hold on a second. Where there's days where I have actually been busy, I've noticed that I potentially don't need to have that snack before I exercise. I potentially don't need to have it after, but I can have a good lunch. Do you know what I mean? And you're just like, I've not been hungry. So it's just, the link, it's only, the penny's only just dropped. I've noticed. And also in the evening as well, sometimes I was, I think it was more of a weird attachment, like a weird fear, because now I've noticed that I don't necessarily need to eat in the evenings after dinner either now. Because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten since dinner. What's going on? But I'm like, but I'm not hungry. I'm okay. But then other times I might feel like, I feel a little bit hungry, so I might grab some nuts or something, just to kind of like nuts and a cup of tea, which is a great combination. Just small things like that, or I have to have something with my cup of tea. Weird stuff like that. So you're just like, oh yeah, I'll just have a biscuit. I'll have 2 biscuits. I'll have 3 biscuits. But I'm better with that. I don't allow myself. A long time ago, I used to allow myself to pack. You don't get yourself to pack. I will put 4 biscuits into a bowl, and that is if I decide I want to go back, sometimes I will. Half the time, the 4 is enough. Do you know what I mean? I don't always overdo it. But if you'd ever left me with a pack of 4 ones and a cup of tea, dip, whole thing in the mouth, dip. Before you know it, half the pack is gone, and you're like, what have I done?
Oh, gosh, and that's the thing. Like I don't know about you, but there's I don't know if you see this too. There's definitely like a link between advertising and, like a psychological link between advertising, how we eat, when we eat, and how we do it. And it's almost like we're in a pattern like we've been taught this pattern. You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and if you are exercising, then you eat at the beginning or at the end, or you do this, and this, to keep your energy up and to keep your energy going. But I mean, like, I know when I was teaching classes, for instance, I would do exactly exactly what you're saying, and then as soon as I stopped teaching classes, that was already embedded in my brain. I'm like, it'd be like getting to like 12 o'clock at night, and I'm going, I need some sausage and chips or something.
Love it.
But it's so true, isn't it? It as you said, it's like some weird attachment.
Yeah.
And then we have to like kind of go, okay, do we, like what you were saying, do we actually need it?
Yeah.
Do we actually want it? Do we actually need it? And this is not, because I know a lot of people may think, oh, it's like starving yourself and all this. This is not the case.
No, it's just listening to your body. You're like, am I hungry? Or am I just eating for the sake of eating? And I think that's something that because I've got quite a high metabolism, so I do burn off stuff quite quickly.
Yeah.
And obviously with the exercising and stuff I do. But again, the bowl of food that I eat in the morning is substantial enough, really, to carry me to lunchtime, because I've got the yogurt, I've got the fruit, and I've got the oats there. Do you know what I mean? There's no reason. Seeds, I put seeds and stuff in there, so there's no reason why that shouldn't carry me to lunchtime. Obviously, depending on what you're doing, sometimes you do feel hungry, or from the day before. So I'll notice if I've had less calories, say the day before, I feel more hungry the day after.
Yeah.
Obviously, I guess it's in some sort of deficit, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I especially with oats, because they are supposed to be slow burner. Do you know what I mean? So there's no reason why I should be having to eat as soon as I get home. Oh, it's terrible. Sometimes I do. Again, you want biscuits for your cup of tea.
But do you notice fluctuations? Like in between the month, do you notice like different times of the month you like want more of it rather than less of it? So
yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so. It's because I've seen you've mentioned a few times about the link between like cycle and stuff like that, and it's really something that I need to sit down and start figuring out, because obviously for myself it's gone down a lot, but it would probably be concept of time. It was like almost a year and a half ago, I guess. I tested positive for the antibody for autoimmune disease.
Really?
And then obviously it was a very stressful period in my life. So I was getting a lot of inflammation in my hands, a lot of pain in my joints, in my feet, stuff like that. And I think having that awareness, sorry, I think when you focus on those symptoms, sometimes it can accelerate it. And also with the lockdown and house move and all these different things I had to deal with, it got worse and worse and worse. But now things have kind of balanced. I don't get nowhere near as many symptoms as I used to, which is really strange. And that's not with me. I'm not really monitoring what I'm eating. Obviously, certain things like I know for sure that can accelerate is like smoking, drinking, sugar. Those are the three things I've noticed massively.
Yeah.
That can bring it on. But in general, if I kind of just live as I am, balancing my life, I'm exercising, I'm doing my Reiki, I'm doing whatever I need to do, it's massively calmed down.
Wow. Tell us, because obviously this is the first time I'm hearing this from you. You know that you're going through this, and there are going to be people maybe in this group, or maybe they know someone. I know my mum's got MS, so there are different. You've taken the approach of listening to your body, being more self-aware of what's going on in your body.
Yeah.
And so some of the symptoms what gets heightened within you when these symptoms arise, for instance, because you mentioned like pains in the joints.
Yeah, the pains in the joints. So mainly my feet can really hurt. My hands get all swollen. I noticed that more so at in the heat as well. But funnily enough, I my whole life, without even realizing, I suffered from Raynaud's in my hands. So obviously, certain temperature changes can affect circulation. But again, with that, I've noticed that I drink a lot more chai tea now, and the symptoms were a lot less this winter. Massively,
Wow.
massively less. But I think as stress as well, stress seems to have an impact on it. But it's mainly kind of just that and fatigue. So I obviously, as being a fitness instructor, to suffer from muscle fatigue, sometimes it can just push like that. I just wake up and I just feel really tired and I really struggle. So like there's just no power in my muscles when I'm trying to teach. And I'm really struggling to lift my leg and bring it back down, which is horrible for me. Because I'm someone who, the last 5 years I've been my body is my business at the end of the day. So if it's not functioning properly and I can't show up as I need to, do you know what I mean? It has a massive effect.
Absolutely. And that stems to all businesses as well.
A thing that I feel that has probably massively impacted me, like I said, is I'm listening to my body more. And if I'm tired, I will just sit. I'm someone who doesn't really like to watch TV. It's just something that I don't really do. But sometimes I have to force myself to just sit and put something on so I don't do anything. So I can sit and I can just be. Because I'm always finding something to do and I'm always up and I'm always this. And I love being outdoors and I love being in nature. But if your body is tired, the last thing I should be doing is walking. But I want to walk. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes I have to fight against what my brain wants and what my body is feeling at the same time. And I think just trying to stay calm and trying to, like I said, like manage my emotions a little bit more. So I'm someone who, has suffered from anxiety and depression before. I've suffered from anger issues. Funnily enough, the more calm I am trying to be, the more nutty the kids are. It's almost like a trigger, and you're just like, well, I'm trying to not be mad. Can you stop making me mad? It's like the opposite. As I'm trying to calm down, they're getting worse, and you're like, I don't even know what to do with you guys. Like, seriously?
I don't want to shout at you. Please just stop it.
Oh my God, the reactions from my son, like, because I used to have proper just like raging moments. And then I see it. So now if I get upset, I see him go like that, as if I'm going to blow up like I used to. And you're just like, you doing that is making me want to blow up. And I'm trying not to. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like by you doing that, you're actually making me more mad. So I'm trying to managing my emotions has been a massive thing. And kind of, like I said, just trying to sit with myself and just having that balance and I've been spending a lot more time in nature as much as I can. Obviously, I'm waiting for it to warm up so I can ground myself because obviously, like I said, I have Raynaud's, so the last thing I need to be doing is standing on a cold floor.
Absolutely. There's going to be some people in this group who have, Raynaud's as well.
Yeah.
And, we were going...
Chai tea is amazing. Chai tea has helped me massively because obviously you've got all the different like spices and stuff in there. And a lot of them help with the circulation. So you've got your cinnamon and your ginger and different things like that will massively help.
That's amazing.
It's helped me. Well, because this is the only thing I can think that it could have been because I love chai tea. So I started drinking so much of it. And then it just made a massive difference. And I think also one thing that potentially has helped me is where I used to live before, I used to have central heating. And the floors were like really cold all the time. So obviously I really struggled to keep the heat in the house. Whereas now I have storage heaters. So it kind of keeps the room at a certain temperature all the time. Whereas before you could switch to central heating on a timer, so it would get really hot, but then when it went off, I'd noticed it was cold. So I don't know if that's helped as well, because I've got more of a steady temperature in the house that my body's able to kind of acclimatize a little bit. But I still notice the cold. I'm still extremely sensitive to the cold. I hate it. I absolutely hate the cold.
But
I'm also really sensitive to heat as well. If I get too hot. So it's almost like if I get too cold, I have the Raynaud's. If I get too hot, I get the inflammation. So I kind of need to stay somewhere balanced in between.
It's almost like you're like really trying to, get to grips with balancing. But the thing is, it sounds like you are managing it really well.
Yeah. It's taken some time though, because it was a massive shock for me. But I think because obviously I'm kind of quite spiritual, and I like to look into sort of why certain things are happening.
Absolutely.
All the time, and just trying to see what potentially would be triggering it, or what emotions could be behind it. And obviously, because I've got a history of being in a toxic relationship where I've had to suppress my emotions, a lot of autoimmune diseases can stem from suppressed emotion, because the body's holding on to it, and then the body goes into that kind of fight or flight, and it doesn't know what it wants to do.
And then can go into the hands as well.
Yeah.
So like different hands resemble different emotions and feelings. I think Fiona Clark has posted something in her group about it. But it kind of ranges from like fear and different things in the finger.
Yeah.
How they can.
But yeah, I know 100%, and I think that's something as well, because obviously I don't really deal with those emotions like that anymore. So I think that's helped too. So I think there's so many different things and factors that you don't even realize how many different things could be affecting your life and where the symptoms could be coming from. But I think a lot of the time it's looking into that individual symptom first to potentially see what emotion is linked to it. Because I've got the Louise Hay book, I think it's called Love Your Body, and it's got a list of all the symptoms that you could be having, and then it has like it tells you what it could be linked to, and then also it has like an affirmation to at the end that you can help to release that as well. So
oh, brilliant!
So every time you get a symptom, I'm running for the book.
What I'll do is we'll pop a link to because obviously we'll have your links above, but we'll also try and see if you can get a link to Louise Hay's book as well. We'll pop that link above, so then people do that, because and then or down wherever it is, above, down below, then people can then go and access that book, because Louise Hay's book, that is an amazing book.
It's a great book, because it's really small as well. It's not expensive to grab. But I think because we were speaking before and you were talking about the metaphysical symptoms of different things, your book is huge. I found it a bite-sized one.
It's like this big Bible like this.
I found a little bite-sized one. I was like, that.
It's like a degree of the anatomy or something. But but the thing is, like, Louise Hay's book is absolutely amazing, and it does give you like some real great insight into kind of what's going on in your body.
Yeah, and it does, because half of the book is kind of like her, explaining different things, and then the back of the book is all the symptoms and what it can be linked to, even like down to your spine as well. So where you have pain in your spine, so it breaks all the vertebra down.
Brilliant.
It's really amazing.
And that's the thing, like, these are the books I personally feel to be looking at, and because they just give us a greater insight into, and as you can see from what you're doing right now, it's how you're looking after yourself. Obviously, for anyone who's watching this for legal purposes, make sure obviously you see doctor, etc., and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit balanced between both, right? But the more you tune into your body, the more you understand what's going on, the more that you're able, like we're talking about right now, the more you're able to move forward. And you're not going to stay stuck in that position. So
it's good to see triggers as well, so you can see. So obviously with me, you can see what's triggering the certain symptoms. So what's actually happened before. Again, because with autoimmune, a lot of the severe ones, it can be down to diet, and certain things can trigger inflammation in the body and stuff like that. Whereas I'm someone who doesn't want to restrict what I eat. Because I generally have quite a good relationship with food in regards to it being quite balanced. I prepare a lot of my fresh meals. Sometimes I have a little bit more of what I shouldn't have. I'm a lot more balanced than other people I know. So someone would eat a whole bar of chocolate or a whole pack of chocolate, and I have one, and I'm just like, oh my God, I shouldn't be eating.
It's like a dream come true, finding them naked bars. Because like as you know, like I don't have sugar in my diet, so like finding them like naked bars, I was just like, oh my God. And even my daughter, she went, I'm not going to have any. And I went, just try a little bit. And she went, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah, I didn't know you got to share them. That's the thing.
Yeah, no. She went, can you save me one? And I'm going, why? You eat sugar, don't eat it.
Yesterday, again, because obviously time of the month, I really fancied a Bakewell tart. So I've gone into Tesco and I bought the Mr. Kipling Bakewell tarts.
Nice.
And then I sat and I had 2 of them with my cappuccino. I normally only have 1, but I was like, today I'm going to pull out all the stops and have 2. I'm going to have 2. And then the kids came home, they're like, wow, Bakewell tarts. I said, yes, please have 2, because then when the pack is gone, I can say I shared them.
Exactly.
And then I didn't eat them all.
But that's the thing, like, you know, like when you find those things, it is really nice when you find them. Like that chocolate bar. I said to my husband this morning, I went, oh, you can, okay, so I found these. I went, you can have one. And I'm thinking, why are you telling him he can have one for, you know? Like,
don't share.
It's like, oh, you know what's coming to mind? Joey doesn't share food.
Yeah, I'm like that, but
I do share food.
Sometimes no, I'm terrible. Even my friends, it's so funny. So like, if we're out, so obviously before we were out eating, nachos is almost my thing. Okay, if nachos ever gets bored, and I say, "Are you going to eat any more?" That means eat them now, or I'm going to consume the whole lot. So I'm kind of like, would you like some? And then like, no, you eat. I'm like, thank you. Like there's these different degrees that my friends know that I don't actually want to give it to you, but I'm doing it to be nice. But if you're not in return and say, no, Charlotte, you can have it, then I'm really grateful.
I'm happy. I wasn't as happy to share. I am happy to share a lot more than what I was. But I tell you the one thing that really abides, that like just really gets to me, is that if I'm making some food and I'll go, do you want me to make any for you? Right? That is, I'm going to make enough for me, and I ain't making any more for anyone else. Yeah. Right? I'll happily make you whatever. I'll happily buy it for you. I'll happily buy you a whole meal. Don't eat off mine. But I'll happily buy you a whole meal. Yeah. Now, obviously, in certain circumstances, if I've just got the meal myself, I'm happy to like share it. But if I've offered to go, I'll buy you it, or I'll make you it, and then they go, no, I really like yours. Oh, that looks really nice. Can I have some? Like, I'd have made you or bought you.
Like, hell no, get out of here.
The whole thing. I'd have given you the whole thing. The whole thing.
See, I'm terrible. I'll be like, you snooze, you lose, sorry. But then my daughter will come with like these puppy dog eyes, like, please, a little bit.
But that's the thing, right? It's like, you know, I would have made you the whole thing. You go, but then like my husband will go, but we only just wanted a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, you could have just eaten a little bit of the whole thing.
Yeah. Rather than a little bit of mine, so now I've got less. Like.
Well, the thing is, when I do make my plate, I do put a little bit more on now, just knowing that someone else is going to have some. So I think that's why I share a little bit more now, because I put extra on. Just in case.
Get people into that habit, so then they're always going to dip in because they know.
No, I do keep reminding them though. I'm like, I would have made your whole plate of food, a whole plate, same as mine, whole plate. So tell us where we can find you, because this has been a great conversation today and great to get to know you. So like like last time when you came on, we spoke about a lot more about your business and stuff. But you know what? This time it's been really nice to actually know you. And you know, when we work with people, I'm definitely a sucker for getting to know people. I want to know that person because, you know, I rather know the person than work with them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's all part of it, isn't it? It's all part of laying the foundation and knowing, you know, it's always better to know the person than to not have that different kind of relationship at the end of the day. Because if you're doing business with someone, you're not just doing business. You want to kind of know them slightly more personal as well. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so for me, obviously, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. My website, I'm trying to finish it. I think the main thing, because I'm trying to kind of, obviously I do all my content and stuff on Facebook, but if anyone does want any information about any Pilates or pelvic floor, or wants to have a chat about anything that I've mentioned, then probably best to just email me, because I try and kind of keep it in one place. I don't know if you have it, but it's, yeah, we can put it below anyway, my email address.
We'll put
because I think there's so much external noise everywhere with different stuff. I try and kind of keep that slot for business, do you know what I mean? So I made a completely different email address that was just for that, without all the madness in there. But yeah, anyone's more than welcome to reach out if they've got any questions or anything. My next, I haven't actually announced it yet. Do I dare announce it?
Yes.
My next pelvic floor course is actually going to be on the 6th of June. So that the date is, I think I've only told 2 people personally, because they'd already inquired about the previous one, but I haven't actually announced it yet. So this is like exclusive here.
Yay! So
if anyone does want to improve their pelvic floor health, I'm doing my 4-week course will be starting then.
Brilliant.
So you drop me an email and I can send you some more information over so you can see if it's for you, basically. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. So yeah, week 4 for the ladies that are currently doing it now. And they've noticed a massive difference already from week 1 to week 3. So yeah, it's really exciting. I'm loving having this ability to help women improve their confidence, and to actually for them to be seeing results as the program is going. Do you know what I mean? And then they're all kind of able, because I keep them quite intimate, so there's only 5 spaces per course, because it's quite a personal issue at the end of the day. Yeah, I could probably sell 10 spaces, but then if someone wants to speak out, they're not going to speak in a room of 10 people. Rather than 5, they might. Do you know what I mean? So because it's quite an intimate subject, I try and keep it small. And yeah, so it's nice for people if they do want to speak out about any issues that they're having or anything like that. So
I think that's absolutely fantastic as well, because it does make it makes a massive difference. If you're in a small space, you are more likely to be open to wanting to speak about the various things that you want to.
Especially on Zoom, if you've got 10 eyes looking at you, you're not going to want to. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be as open. Whereas when I prefer it like that. I think it's nicer.
Agreed. It's been beautiful having you here today.
Yes, it's been great.
Time again, and it's been, and as I said, truly believe it's been nice chatting about you, and I reckon that whoever watches this and they've been going through anything that has been described in here, I would definitely say reach out to Charlotte, because the thing is, at the end of the day, having those, having things like pelvic floor, autoimmune issues, or anything like that, Charlotte does her work and she talks her talk, like I said at the beginning, and going to her would be absolutely amazing. So yeah.
I'm always doing research as well. I'm always checking stuff out to kind of keep up to date with everything. So yeah, even because with my pelvic floor course, I had some ladies in the previous one that were in the menopause, and this one not so much, but obviously it's slightly different. So you've got to just have that knowledge on both sides. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just ladies of my age, it's ladies older as well that are, so you've got people that are still on their period, perimenopause, and then obviously your menopause as well. So yeah, it happens to us all. It happens to us all. But I think the key thing that is something that I've been touching upon is just don't be embarrassed to reach out, because all you're doing is doing yourself an injustice. Do you know what I mean? And everything is confidential at the end of the day. I'm not putting anyone's names out anywhere. So yeah, that's it. That's it.
So
thank you very much for the time, Trina.
You know what? Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you in this community and sharing your knowledge. For those that aren't in the community already, you'll be able to find the community details below, so you'll be able to access the community, and you'll be able to see Charlotte's videos in there too. But we'll make sure that we've got Charlotte's details below, so then you can go and find her and go and follow her, because she has a wealth of information that can help you too. So thank you very much for joining. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next week. I think Severin is with us next week. But for those who are looking to join the collective, then we'll be opening the doors again soon. So speak soon. Bye.